Janne Knuda Spektrum.
Janne Knuda.
Janne Knuda.
Hejsan!
Helle!
Hoppsan!
Bom!
Jul! Kul! Hejsan! Hoppsan! Gubbar, ni vet väl att
Va?
nu är det jul igen?
Nej!
Mina damer och herrar, får jag för er presentera...
Hey!
Hallå!
This is the Swedish Connection, the Christmas special. So, how are you doing today?
I'm very, very fine. It's nice. It's Christmas, and it's nice to be back in the Swedish Connection once again.
Yes.
And I am so pleased that the Christmas gift that you sent to me arrived yesterday.
Yes, and mine too. I got it here.
Ah, perfect.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Right. Oh,
Skål.
skål. Cheers.
Skål.
Yeah.
Okay, we are now
Now
ready
ready.
to start. The Christmas spirit is with us.
Yes. And what's the theme for today?
Yeah, so the theme for today, because it's close to Christmas, and we were thinking, what presents did we thoroughly enjoy back in the day when we were a bit younger than today? Could have perhaps been music.
That was the only thing on my wish list. Records, records, and records.
Yes.
But unfortunately, I just got one record each Christmas.
Yeah, the
And
same
that's,
here.
I never got from my parents for some kind of reason. It was always my aunt that bought me a record.
Yeah.
And I can't to this day understand why they didn't get more records for it. It was the only thing I wanted to have. I didn't care for anything else.
No, me neither. I think, and we talked about this before, there was at certain point, I think it was Lego for me. But then when my attention turned to music, really, that was my whole existence, really. I remember every little penny that I could save, it went into records. So it came to a point where I remember my parents said to me, well, you already got so many records, so we're not going to buy you anymore, which was devastating, of course, because that was my big interest. So
I have... The money I got, I spent on records as well. But at Christmas, you could get a new record, a more expensive record.
Exactly.
During the year, I checked the cheap ones, or I traded with my friends. But at Christmas, I could choose any record I wanted, and at full price. And that was very cool.
Yeah. No, absolutely agree with you, because usually it was the albums, right? Because I couldn't usually afford the albums. It was either singles, or if it was an album, I bought it on cassette because it was a bit cheaper. But
Yes.
yeah, absolutely. So that is what we talked about today. That is going to be the theme for today. Our favorite records that we got as a Christmas present back probably in the 1980s, because I have no clue what you choose, and you have no clue what I choose either. But I have a hunch that we're going to stay in the 1980s.
We will. And I was a Kiss fan. I fell in love with the band when I saw the posters, the makeup, the fire, everything.
Yeah.
And my first record I got with them was The Elder, a theme record, not very good. I love it today, but it wasn't Kiss as I wanted them to be. So I asked the Santa Claus, I want their new album. And I got their new album. In 1982, I got this album.
Ooh.
And look here. This is a price tag, so you couldn't open.
Yeah.
And impossible to get off.
Yeah, I know.
It ruined the cover totally.
That's how, I don't know in other countries, but in Sweden, I have so many copies of different records with that seal, so to speak, on it. And like you said, you could never peel it off. Never.
No. This was Kiss' latest album, Kiss Killers.
Okay.
They replaced the drummer. We have Eric Carr instead of Peter Criss. And here are the songs. And it's totally just a plain... Yeah, I drew something when I was 10. Yeah. Anyway, I love it. Amazing songs. Cold Gin, Love Gun, Shout It Out, Sure Know Something, Know What You Run, Partners of Crime, Detroit, Rock City, God of Thunder, I Was Made for Loving You, Rock and Roll All Night. Amazing record, and I had no clue whatsoever that this was a compilation. It doesn't say greatest hits anywhere. There are no information that this song is from that album and so on. Nothing. So it took me a few weeks until a neighbor said, well, that song shouldn't be here. And he said, this is compilation. And I said, oh, it is. All right, cool. 4 new songs. I love them all. And this was my first real Kiss album. And this is how Kiss should sound. And this is the band I fell in total love with.
Okay.
Very important album for me. And I got it from my aunt, of course.
I recognize the title of that one because I usually I subscribe to a lot of channels here on YouTube that are talking about music and showing the vinyl records and whatever. And a lot of them are focused on Kiss. And it's not necessarily because I'm that interested in Kiss, really. But I love hearing people talk about how passionate they are about music. And so anyhow, I don't recognize that one at all. But I do recognize the cover. The title, sorry, but was that ever released with a different cover on it?
No, it was intended for a Japanese release only. But since their last album, The Elders, sold so poorly, they rushed this with a rather boring cover. No, so nothing. That's no information whatsoever.
No.
So it was released in Europe first, and I think it's got a US release as well.
Okay. Now, it was just me, because I did recognize the title Killers of it, but in my mind, it was a different cover on it. But hey, what do I know? But I didn't know it was a compilation, so I learned something new.
Yeah, I think both Queen and Thin Lizzy had compilation that was called Killers as well.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I could have been confusing them. So, okay. And you said that was 1983, right?
82.
82. Okay, sorry.
82.
Because the record that I have is from 1983, Christmas of 1983. Right. And this, I have to say, it was not only for me. We got this, me and my sister got this as a... Well, I remember she got it as a present, but I remember my mom said afterwards, well, it's for both of you to listen to, because I was really jealous of her. But nowadays, I am the proud owner of this album. Yeah.
I remember it very, very well.
Yeah. So... if anyone's watching this, not from Sweden and not recognizing it, I don't blame you at all. This is a Swedish artist, and I was a bit hesitant to bring up a Swedish artist, but I was so excited for this one when it was released. This is Magnus Uggla, and Magnus Uggla, he was a bit of a glam artist during the late 70s. He was very influenced by David Bowie, of course, the different... was it Sweet and Slade even? There was a lot of glam groups from the UK especially, and I think he was heavily influenced by them at that point. But now we're into 1983 and he started doing more poppy things, more mainstream pop, right? But still very controversial, because that we have to say about Magnus Uggla. He's always been very, very controversial as an artist within his lyrics and the way he conducted himself in interviews, for example. So the big hit from this one was, of course, EQ or IQ, which was a big, big hit for him at the time. And what I didn't know at the time, and something that I learned, I think 2 years ago, is that it's a cover. It's a cover of a song by Bruce Woolley.
All right, I didn't know that.
No, I was clueless. Up until 2023, I was absolutely certain it was a original composition by Magnus Uggla. All I had to do was, of course, look at the credits, but I never did that.
No.
So Blue Blue Victoria, the original is called. Yeah.
Oh, I must check that out. I didn't know. I did know that his song Centrum Hets from an album before was also a cover.
Yeah. So he probably
the song was called Metrojets.
Oh, Metrojets. Okay. So he probably did quite a lot of covers, but they were less known songs, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So that's how he could get away with it, because people thought, yeah, that's Magnus Uggla's original composition. But yeah. So this album is called Välkommen till Folkhemmet. And I don't really know how to translate that, because welcome to Folkhemmet, which is a Swedish term of the Swedish way of not living really, but the way the government, the Swedish government, made sure that everyone had a roof over their head and a certain standard was upheld really.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really
I can't help you with the translation there. It's
a tough one. It's something like that. But he did have a lot of hits from this one, besides EQ or IQ. Another one called Hand in Hand, which was him. He usually did this. He sang the songs in a different persona. So Hand in Hand is a song about an old hippie remembering his old days back in the late 60s, for example. And they were always very, like I said, controversial, because he had a very controversial take on these personas that he took on, really. And the same goes with Astrologen. They're
beautiful.
Yeah, exactly. The medium, So it's all about someone meeting the perfect person in their life, and then the whole lyric concludes with, "Well, I now been going into numerology. What do you call it? I can't even say it. Numerology, numerology. I think it's called. Anyway." So they went into numerology, and they said, and they from the new numbers, they have been. They told me that we are not a match anymore, so they broke up. So it's all a bit tongue in cheek and a very sharp criticism against different groups in society, really, in the Swedish folkhem. So
you listen to it regular?
Yeah, I do. This is an album I still listen to quite a lot, and also his follow-up, Den döende dandyn, the Dying Dandy, which was also a big hit from him. I think this one and the follow-up album was his big albums. The big breakthrough for Magnus Uggla. Yeah,
I saw that tour, the Döende Dandyn tour.
Yeah,
one of my first gigs ever. Amazing.
It is, yeah. No, I like Magnus Uggla, or ever since that album was released. But like I said, it was intended for my sister. But when my mother saw that, I got really jealous, because I also like Magnus Uggla. She's like, it's for both of you. So that's how I see it today.
And could you have the record together, or did you steal it from her very shortly after Christmas Eve?
Yeah, no, I knew it belonged to her small vinyl crate, but I did snatch it from time to time, and I think it
Yeah.
mainly stayed in mine. But I have to say, she still have her original copy, because this one that I showed you, I picked up a couple of years after the fact. So
All right. No,
we
no
now
sisters
have,
have been hurt during this show.
yeah, we have both our own copies of Välkommen till folkhemmet. Yeah.
All right. My next album, I started to listen to Deep Purple at a very young age, and today every band, not every band, but a lot of bands do reunions, mostly for money, and not many bands today make a reunion and record a new album. They're happy just going on tour and playing the old songs. But Deep Purple, in 1984, got back together with Ian Gillan on vocal and Richie Blackmore on guitar, and what I believe it was called the Mark II lineup. And they did this amazing album called Perfect Strangers. And the hit, of course, is the title song, and even Knocking at Your Back Door. And this album is as good as their classic albums from the 70s. And they are still touring today. And I can say this title track, Perfect Strangers, that song is one of the top 3 most played songs live by Deep Purple.
Okay.
Smoke on the Water and I think it was Highway Star. Those are the 2 most played songs. And Perfect Strangers, that song is number 3. So it's not just me that think this is a great album. They themselves put one of their songs from that album on heavily rotation on their live sets.
Okay.
Amazing sound, and the inner sleeve, this is how it's done. We have lyrics and a whole lot of pictures. I looked at this all day long on Christmas and Christmas Eve, and who is that, and why are they doing here? And so this is how a record should be, in my opinion. A lot of things to look at and to read and follow the text. Amazing album. One of my absolute favorite Deep Purple albums to this day. And they have recorded, I don't know, 30, 40? I don't know. I've lost tracks long ago how many albums they have done. But this holds a very dear place in my heart. And also from my aunt, Anna. Of course, the only one who bought me albums on Christmas.
That is great. That is one of those covers I vividly remember seeing out in the record shops at the time.
Yeah.
Even if it's not that striking of a cover, it's still something, because as soon as you held it up, I was like, yeah, I really remember that one.
They were probably a bit ahead of their time, because this is a typical Spotify album cover.
Yeah, it really is, right?
It's perfect for 1 centimeters large cover.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's perfect. You got that 3D rendering there.
Yeah.
And I have to say what you said as well about, and my next record is going to prove that point as well, but the lure of the vinyl format, the LP format, with all the inner sleeves, with all the pictures and all the text. And, you know, back in the day, even if I didn't understand English that good, I mean, it's just my second language nowadays. But back then, I didn't understand all the words, but still, you remember all the names and some of the phrases in there. And, of course, all the pictures as well. It's so important. I think that is part of why I'm still is so fond of the vinyl record format, because you can hold it in your hand. It's something big, tangible thing, and you can read all of these liner notes and credits and whatever. It's just wonderful.
Yeah. And the thing with the lyrics, as we were small children by this time and we didn't know that much English, all kind of hidden meanings in the lyrics were beyond us. We didn't realize a thing.
No.
For example, Kiss had a song called Love Gun, and I couldn't really understand why
What
is
is
he
that?
singing by pistol. It makes no sense, but yeah, it's a bit cool.
Yeah, Love
It took
Gun.
me years to understand what he was talking about.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah, it could be tricky. And I know we probably touched on this before, but I think it's a whole other episode with us not growing up with English as our first language and not really understanding it at that time. We focused more on the music, at least I did. So I think it's so ingrained today, because even today I listen more to the melodies and get hooked by them instead of the lyrics in some cases. And so, yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If you should put it like this, how many rock lyrics do you really remember this one changed my life? This, I can listen to this over and over again. Not too many, actually.
No, just because the
No.
lyrics were so fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of them, they are word salads.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good.
And what's your next in the Christmas bag?
1984 Christmas, and I know I showcased this here before, but it needs to be repeated. It's Frankie Goes to Hollywood. Welcome to the Pleasure Dome. First and foremost, I was really hooked on Frankie. 1984 was that big year when I discovered them through the second single, Two Tribes. And I knew that an album was coming out as well. And I think this one was released late October that year. And yeah, it was the highest thing on my wish list, the only thing really. And I got it. And this is my original copy, so it's got its bruises here and there. But the great thing for me back in the day, it was a double album. Because back then, I didn't, up until this point, I didn't own a double album. Double albums was reserved for, the 70s rock kind of things, whatever, Emerson, Lake and Palmer or whatever it might be. So I never owned a double album. I don't think I ever saw one or held one, for that matter, up until that point. But this was a double album from a band that at the time only released 3 singles.
Wow.
So it was a bold move. And
are there songs for a double album?
Yes.
Does it hold up?
So that is the thing, because they did, before they were signed with Sanctum Tum, the record company, they did have a lot of live gigs, and they wrote a lot of songs for those live gigs. So they had some in their back pocket. But according to Trevor Horn, who produced this whole thing together with Steve Lipson and some other studio wizards, they had to work quite a lot on it because they weren't the best musicians in the world at this point in time. They became pretty proficient just over a year after the first single was released. But at this point, because this had to be recorded probably during the summer of 1984, so there is a lot of non-band members acting on this one as well. And it was this big controversy at the time. Frankie's not playing the instruments themselves. Today, no one would raise an eyebrow, really, because there's so many people involved in a music production. But back in the day, they were a band, and when it came out that it was mostly studio wizardry by Trevor Horn, it was like, ooh, it's a big thing. But I didn't care. I loved them. So here it is. Yeah, and it's a beautiful cover here, very Picasso-esque cover of the whole band, and it just says "Welcome to the Pleasure Dome." It doesn't say "Frankie Goes to Hollywood" anywhere on this one, and even the back is just this big mess of Picasso-esque figures, animals really, and all of these fig leaves that you can see all over this one, they weren't originally there. It was naked animals fornicating with each other, or half men, half animals. But when it came to the the printers that was to do this, they refused to print it because it was so obscene. So they had to go back and put fig leaves on the sensitive parts of it. But since it is a double album, it is, of course, a gatefold. And for some reason, and this always eluded me ever since I learned about them refusing to print it, the gatefold stays intact. And if you have sensitive mind, sensitive eyes, look away now. See if we can get the focus on it. Well,
what's so sensitive about this?
Well, I'll move my microphone away a bit. If you see it, you see it. And if not, yeah, you can sleep easy tonight.
I sleep well.
Yeah. So that was surprising to me. But not only that, and I won't be long-winded on this one. I know it's a big album. The inner sleeves, like I said, and I showed this before, it's absolutely in tatters today because I played this so much, and I pulled these out and read them over and over again, even if I didn't understand half of the words that were printed on this, because Paul Morley, who was a co-owner of Sanctam Tam, he was very inclined to put a lot of quotes from Nietzsche, Immanuel Kant, and things like that. And it was a hard, even harder English language to wrap your head around as a 13-year-old back in the day. But a lot of pretty pictures, a lot of text and technical details. And then on the second one, this was the thing that really excited me. You could read more about the different band members here, all 5 of them.
Oh, excellent.
And on the other side, you had this order form where you can order all these awesome clothes, socks, T-shirts, underwear, bags, you name it. It was all here. And this was really high on my wish list as well. But living in Sweden at the time, not having much money, and so I never got around to ordering any of these. But that was something. I was so excited about all of this.
They're very clever to print that on the sleeve.
It was. And if you have to send for it, you have the order form here, so you have to cut into the inner sleeve. If you didn't have a Xerox machine, that is. But
no.
Yeah, but it was great. Great pictures here with Paul Rutherford, who was the backup vocalist or the second vocalist of Frankie, and Claudia Brücken is here as well from Propaganda, posing with the different attire that you could order from Sanctam Tam at the time. Great record.
Is this one of your all-time favorite albums?
It is, absolutely, because it is a lot of nostalgia for me as well, of course, but I think it holds together pretty well today. It's not one of the best albums ever if you're gonna put it in that context, really big. But for me personally, this holds so many memories, and I got so many plays out of this one. So just to mention the first track on the A side, which is a nearly 15-minute long version of the title track, Welcome to the Pleasure Dome, is just heaven. It's built like a cinematic masterpiece, but for audio. So it's really widescreen things we're talking about here. And then, of course, you got the 3 singles that were out at the time, Relax, Two Tribes, and The Power of Love, of course. And then a bunch of other tracks. They had to record at least 2 covers, which one of them, and I have to mention this one, was Born to Run. And me, not being that familiar with Bruce Springsteen at the time, I think it was our dear friend Ib who said to me, it's a Bruce Springsteen track. Is it? So when I eventually heard the Bruce Springsteen track, I was like, because there was so much energy into the Frankie cover. And that was the first time I actually heard the track as well. So to me, that was the original, if you know what I mean. No shame to Springsteen at all, because his version is good as well.
I need to buy that album because I have just heard the singles.
Yeah.
I've never. No one I hang around with was into Frankie or Relax was everywhere, of course, and Power of Love, but no one had the album. But I realized that I probably need that album in the near future.
Yeah, I think everyone needs this album. It's one of those great albums. They had the balls to do it as a double album, even if they really didn't have all the songs to fill out a double album. They managed to do that somehow in the end by doing a cover of Born to Run and San Jose as well, the old Burt Bacharach one, but we'll leave that to the side. Sorry, I got long-winded anyhow, but I'm so passionate about this one.
No problem. It's soon Christmas Eve, so we have all the time in the world.
We do.
Brings me to my next album, and I was 17. The year was 1988, and I have listened to heavy metal and hard rock. And for me, heavy metal and hard rock up till 1988 were Saxon, Kiss, Rat, Mötley Crüe. Not the heaviest persons in the world. So I decided I need some real heavy metal, and I have read about the band Slayer. They have released the iconic album Rain in Blood, and I wished for my Christmas from my aunt, could you buy me Slayer's next album, South of Heaven, or South in Heaven? And she did, South of Heaven, and she had no problem going into a record store and buying this album, even though I believe she was a Christian. She didn't care. That was my album I wanted, and she got it for me. This is trash metal. I would lie if I said that I loved it. I didn't. I think it's great. I think Slayer today, it's a band you can't say anything bad about them. They are on a level that everyone loves. Slayer, you just say Slayer's the best, but I hardly ever listen to them. But I think they're great. And this album was by far the heaviest album I had back in the day. And Angry Young Kids, not like Mötley Crüe or those bands, Hano Rock, that I loved. And one cool thing about it, Rick Rubin produced, of course, the lyric sheet, and there was one song that was not on the lyrics, and I didn't understand why until I realized it's a cover. And exactly like you said with Born to Run, back then they recorded a cover, but that was no big deal. No. Today, if an album, if an artist or band record a cover, it's everything they talk about. Oh, they're going to do a Madonna cover of this album. They don't mention rest of the songs. It's just the cover everyone focus on. But here's a Judas Priest cover called Dissident Aggressor, and it's just one of the songs. No one took any notice. Yeah, they have a Judas Priest song on it. So what? They love Judas Priest. They record a Judas Priest song. Yeah. Nothing more to it. No one talked about that Slayer had a Judas Priest song on the album. It was just there.
Yeah.
And it's a great song. And exactly like you said on Born to Run, this was the first time I heard that Judas Priest song. And I love Slayer's version much better because that's the song I heard first, and I liked it.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I get it.
So 1988, Slayer entered my life, and my aunt, I don't know if it's a Swedish tradition, but she wrote a kind of rhyme on the package.
Yeah.
And I don't know, does people do that in England or America? Or is it a Swedish thing?
Yeah, I haven't heard about it, but I know certainly from the Swedish tradition, you should include a rhyme. I don't think I ever did that on anything.
No, I couldn't do it, but
Yeah.
From 1988, it's still.
And you still
in
got
here.
it. It's
I
wonderful.
still got it.
I also had an aunt that were very keen on doing that, so that must be something with the age they were in, the year they were born, or the whatever. I don't know.
No, but it's cool to find it inside the sleeve. Did I keep it? Amazing. It's all right. It's 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know, it's amazing, isn't it? And that cover was really interesting as well. Is that the Inferno? It looks like a theater.
Yeah,
page.
it had also a hyper sticker back then, because there are no logo, no title, no nothing.
So
just
it's
the painting.
Very similar to the Frankie one I showed you now, because if you didn't know that a Frankie album was called Welcome to Pleasure Dome, you had no idea who it was.
No. and this stands. It stand out then, and I believe this cover stands out today.
Yeah. And that was your first interaction with thrash metal, or?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can imagine that must have been a shock, going from, like you said, Saxon and the hair bands at the time.
I wanted to be a more heavier guy than I was, but it wasn't really my cup of tea. This I'm a more Kiss, Mötley Crüe, Rat kind of guy.
Yeah,
not. It's a bit too fast, too aggressive.
Yeah,
but I still like it. But it's not on my top 100.
No, and today it's commonplace, of course. But you showed the band members on the back. They couldn't care less. This is what we look like. We have jeans. We have leather jackets. They didn't dress up like the bands that you just mentioned, Rat or Mötley Crüe. Or
here's no makeup.
No.
I was confused. Boys without makeup on the record cover.
Yeah.
What's the world?
Yeah. Good. Great stuff. Okay, we are loaded up on a Christmas spirit here.
Yeah.
In this exciting Christmas special from none others than the Swedish Connection. And I believe I have one more record to show you, right?
Yes, you have.
Yes, so we are now in 1986, and I'm going to repeat myself here because this is yet another Frankie record. They only released 2 albums, and this is their second and last one, Liverpool. Of course, still high on the Frankie hype from 1984. I never abandoned them. They released 2 singles leading up to this one, Rage Hard and Warriors of the Wasteland. And then once again, I think late October 86, this one came out, and it was the highest one on my wish list that year. And they left Trevor Horn behind, or Trevor left them behind, because now they want to show that they could actually play music by themselves. And they could. Of course, they had a lot of touring behind them, a lot of other live performances behind them. So they were very skilled at this point, in my opinion. And they had Stephen Lipson produce them. And the result was Liverpool. There we go. Liverpool.
I've never seen this one before. Why haven't I?
It didn't sell that well. It didn't chart that well. The heyday was behind them. It was quite a different style of music. It was a rockier Frankie that we got on the second album. I think it was more akin to what they wanted to do in the first place. The first album was heavily produced by Trevor Horn, of course, with all the new fangled technology of the time. This time it was more down to earth, more a rockier album, like I said. It's got really great tracks on it. I love this album still to this day, but they are very different experiences, for sure. You couldn't tell that it was the same band, really, but hey. Well, you still could tell, of course, it was Frankie because you had a very distinct voice of Holly Johnson there, but the production was quite different from what we heard on the first album. But a great, great album, and I played this one to bits as well. It's not as in bad condition as my original Welcome to Pleasure Dome one is.
Why was it called Liverpool?
Well, it was their hometown. They came from Liverpool.
All right.
And it was the homage to their hometown, really. But you don't have a track on the album called Liverpool. I don't think there's ever mention around Liverpool. I think some of the lyrics on some of the songs could reflect life in Liverpool and what they grew up with, so forth and so on. But beautifully done cover here. All the photos are taken by Anton Corbijn at the time. I really like this sleeve. And on the inner sleeve, we got some more typical Anton Corbijn photos. Yeah. And there we go. There's Liverpool as well. But a great album, a bit more down to earth from the previous one. But yeah, boy, I was a happy boy back then. 84 and 86, great Christmases for me because I got records from Frankie.
Yeah. Will you get a record for this Christmas, do you think?
No.
You haven't bought one for yourself?
No, my partner is of the same opinion as my parents once was. You have so many records.
Yeah.
But I said, I can give you a wish list. But no, we usually don't give each other much when it comes to Christmas presents nowadays. We treat Christmas as a time when we can actually be together, have a really nice time, good food, cozy up in front of a telly or something like that, or play some games. So no, I haven't pushed my partner for years about giving me presents at all. So, and you?
I always put one album on my wish list, and some years one of my daughters get me a record, but she thinks it's a bit boring to give me a record. She thinks, well, you can buy that for yourself. So, well,
yeah, that's usually
it's just right, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that leaves us with just one nugget for 2026.
Absolutely. We got something up our sleeves for 2026. So do you want to announce it, or?
I can try. Well, in 1990, I and Tobias shared a stage in Ängelholm, our hometown, where we played in our bands back then. We talked about them on the last episode of the Swedish Connection. And we have actually decided that in the year 2026, we are going to release an split single.
Yeah, it's a single.
And if it's going to be a physical single.
Yeah.
But we haven't decided the format yet. But one new recording each. So we're going to record new music next year and put it out. Yeah.
And I was thinking, if anyone's watching this and is interested in picking up this release from us, this single, what format would you prefer? Because we were talking about everything from cassette to CD, just cassette to CD, because we don't have much money to splurge here, but we would love to do a double album, of course, but it's only going to be either a CD single or a cassette single.
Yeah.
So what do you prefer?
Vinyl is not an option today. It's too expensive, and it's a bit of a hassle as well. But we're going to do a physical release in absolutely, and with a nice cover and everything. And myself, I haven't touched the guitar for 10 years. I have two guitars sitting around here. I tune them from time to time for no reason at all. but I haven't played and I haven't written a song in 10 years. And so it's a bit exciting, actually, to explore what have I to say today. I don't know. Maybe nothing. Maybe everything.
Yeah.
But a new song is going to be recorded and written soon.
Yeah. Now, I'm really excited about this one. I have delved into music making just not recently, but I would say 2 years ago. So I haven't been that absent really from music making. But it will be good to dust off my instruments and try to compose something together with you as well.
And we're going to try to keep an update on every Swedish Connection episode, how the process is going and where we are at the moment.
Yeah. No, there's going to be updates. So you will see perhaps photos, sounds, who knows? Could be anything. Yeah.
I'm really excited. We talk about music a lot and we listen to music a lot, and I really miss playing in a band, but the situation in life where I live and what I work with and what's going on, it's not possible to kill time in a garage with other people to make music. I don't have that time anymore.
No.
But I'm going to make a song.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That sounds good. And so will I. So stay tuned here, folks. You will have some more updates going forward, like Mikael said, in forthcoming Swedish Connections. But now, I think it's high time that we wish everyone a very happy Christmas or whatever you might celebrate this holiday. And we'll raise a glass for everyone in a very Swedish way and say, skål, ta mig fan.
Ta mig fan.
You all take care of yourself and stay cool. Keep listening to that music. And we will bid you a very heartfelt, Christmassy adjö to you all.
Det blir jul igen. Nu är det jul igen. Det blir jul igen.